Philadelphia 76er team comes to New York today following a loss Friday night in Milwaukee. In that game, 3 Sixers were injured. Center Daryl Dawkins injured his right ankle. Guard Lionel Hollins suffered a cut over his eye, and Maurice Cheeks sustained a bruised jaw. What's their status? Here's Coach Billy Cunningham.
Daryl Dawkins is the one that we're questionable about. We'll find out in the first period how his ankle is going to respond. Maurice Cheeks got banged in the jaw. He'll play. Lionel Hollins will play as well. The big point of this game is that we're more concerned with our game, that we're not concerned with Boston. Everybody is making a big deal of that. If we're not playing good basketball going into the playoffs, it's not going to matter if we win the division, have the best record or anything. So we're concerned with being at the top of our game, either going into a mini-series or having a week off.
The Knicks Friday night clinched a playoff spot, led by guard Ray Williams, 27 points in the all-around play of Michael Ray Richardson. The backcourt pair figured to be the key to today's game. Welcome to Madison Square Garden, where today the New York Knicks play host to the Philadelphia 76ers. The 6th meeting of the year between these two clubs, and thus far Philadelphia's won 3 of those clashes. Hi everybody, I'm Gary Bender, and alongside me is Bill Russell. And Bill, 2 weeks left in this regular season of play. What's the driving force behind these two ball clubs coming in here?
Well, first they want to go into the playoffs playing well. Both these teams are playoff teams, so they want to go into the playoffs playing well. But position. Now, for the 76ers, they have got to finish ahead of Boston because the winner of the Eastern Conference has got a great advantage this year because the loser or the second-place team is going to have a good pass Chicago and Milwaukee, the 2 most physical teams in the NBA. As for the Knicks, they got a dogfight with Indiana. And if they can stay ahead of Indiana, then they have the home court advantage. And the level that they and Indiana are playing, and in a mini-series, the home court advantage is very important.
Well, what about the keys to this game? I mentioned Richardson and Williams. What else can we look for today?
Well, their front line is a very capable front line. Bill Cartwright is an outstanding young center. That makes them, their front line makes them a good team. But their guards have to be playing well for them to be one of the great teams. Them to play with the Philadelphia, the Boston, the Los Angeles, and Phoenix, and teams like that. They have to have outstanding performance from their guards.
Okay, Bill, we'll be back with the Knicks against the Sixers in just a moment here in Madison Square Garden in New York.
The NBA on CBS. Today's game is sponsored by Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way. Light beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. And by Levi's Jeans, our quality never goes out of style.
Welcome to this beautiful place here in New York, Madison Square Garden, as we take a look at the starting lineups for this particular game. Philadelphia, they made a change about a week ago. Lionel Hollins will go at guard in place of rookie Andrew Toney. Cheeks, Dawkins, Jones, and the Doctor. And the New York Knicks. There's a lineup that's getting better each week, a young team. There's Williams and Richardson in the backcourt, Cartwright, Williams, and Russell, Red Holzman, the coach, and Jake O'Donnell, along with Tommy Nunez, the 2 men officiating today's game. The Knicks, who clinched their playoff berth Friday night. Of course, the Sixers are in the playoffs, but they want to end up with the best record in basketball, which they have at the present time. Here is Ray Williams, who had 27 points Friday night. Sly Williams, who had 22. Campy Russell. That should get him started right.
Well, you know, you hear a lot about transition. That's one of the catch words for this season is transition. And what you're talking about is which team goes from offense to defense and the other way to equal facility, and it's quick and set up as well. And so the teams that react to what they're trying to do and set the pace and making the move from offense to defense and vice versa will be the team that controls the pace of the game, and they'll win it. Now, what the 76ers try to do is play good, strong defense and to keep the Knickerbockers, who like to send a lot of guys out, like their guards do a lot of their rebound. They send 1 or 2 guys, and the other guys take off. What the 76ers have to do is pound the boards offensively. Is make those guys have to stay back and screen out. What the Knickerbockers going to have to do is try. They're a better team than they're running, and although that's Philadelphia's game is running, but they have to run anyway because they can't set up because the key to the Philadelphia success has been their defense.
Defense, which by the way is ranked 2nd in the NBA. That foul a moment ago by Daryl Dawkins sending Sly Williams to the line has been one of the pleasant surprises this year for Red Holzman. He said it's been one of the mysteries of life as to how he could come back so much more effectively this season.
Well, you know, there's a certain level of awareness that young players, you know, they go out there to see what happens, and they keep looking, and one day they see, and it's a different game, and they say, well, I'll do this and I'll do that, and not I'll try to do this or I'll try to do that.
There's Cheeks, who has that severely bruised jaw, trying to get into Caldwell, and there's that inside game you were talking about. Daryl Dawkins, 3-2. The Knicks with the lead. The Knicks were really struggling before Friday night. They'd lost 6 of 7 games, and according to Butch Beard, their assistant, they were really starting to doubt themselves a little, starting to tighten up. They won Friday, and they hope they can pick up from there. Campy Russell. Russell's for 2, and that would really give this young Knicks team an added vote of confidence if he can shoot like that.
That shot that Campy Russell shot just in the same play that they used to use Bill Bradley when the Knicks had those great teams in the early 70s. That's the same play they used for Bill Bradley to get him loose on the baseline.
Some painful memories for you?
Well, it wasn't so painful for me. It was painful for the guy that's guarding Bill Bradley because Willis Reed set such a pick. You couldn't believe it.
It'd rattle your teeth a little bit. Campy Russell trying to get it inside, but he threw it away. Caldwell Jones off to Cheeks.
Now, what is happening to the Knicks now is that they're trying to go inside on the Philadelphia team. And this is what they don't want to do. They don't have to set up and try to run the plays because the Philadelphia team reacts very well to set plays. They've got to get out running. And if we're going to play at this pace, this is at Philadelphia's advantage.
Philadelphia dictating the tempo at this particular time. Michael Ray Richardson, an all-star guard, is a man who does so many things well. Ray Williams, who was 10 of 16 Friday night. And look at Darryl get up on that one. Bad ankle and all. I don't think that ankle's too bad. The other end, Hollins, and Hollins, that left hand of his.
See, what the 76ers are doing is playing a strong defense, and they got to shut off in about 8 seconds.
Watch it! There's the steal. Heads-up play by Maurice Cheeks. Cheeks coming in here, his 3rd in the NBA in steals. Rebound by Russell. And here comes the transition game at the other end. Sly Williams, he faked Dawkins out. Out to Cheeks. Dawkins had time, went the other way. And right now we're having a little trouble mechanically out here. Both these teams having a tough time setting up their offense.
Now, although Dawkins didn't block the shot, he ended up, this is still with Cheeks going down and running a fast break. Off of the steal, you always should get a 2-on-1 at least, or a 2-on-2 before they get a chance to set up, which is to the offensive advantage. What Daryl Dawkins did on the last defensive play, well, he didn't block the shot, but he made the guy have to change so much that he missed it.
Cheeks had a hand on that ball, but Sly Williams able to follow, and it's 7-4 New York.
And New York is going to have to fast break like that in order to stay with the 76ers.
You remember a week ago today, Bill, the same thing happened to the Sixers early. They got down 12-2. They couldn't stop the running game, and now here today it's starting to happen again. Cheeks on the baseline, picked up nicely by Cartwright. The Doctor has averaged over 24 points in this series with the Knicks, and he comes away with a rebound. Good move by the Dr. Julius Erving. 7-6, New York by 1.
Although New York is ahead, they are not in control of the game.
They don't look like they have the poise, do they, Bill? They'd like to have. But Cartwright put quite a move on that time.
That was a good move Cartwright made.
Bill Cartwright. Cartwright, a man who throughout the course of the series has had a difficult time with Dawkins. There's the Doctor. Look at that finger roll. What ball control, what body control that time by Julius.
Well, the key to making that play work was he knew exactly where he was when he got the ball. He didn't have to look for the basket. He knew exactly where he was before he got the ball. And that's one of the things, court awareness, knowing where you are.
One of the many things he does. Looks to me like Campy Russell's headed for a big afternoon. He's hit 3 of 3. Russell coming into this game averaging a little over 16 points a game. He's the kind of guy that if he gets a hot hand, look out. In 2 Philly games this year, he had 26 and 24 points. Cheeks broken up out of bounds off of New York. 8 seconds on the shot clock. 11-8 the Knicks in the lead.
But they've got the baskets mostly like 3 outside jumpers by Campy Russell. With a team like the 76ers, you can't rely on this 18 to 20-foot jump shot. You've got to go inside to get some fouls on some of the important guys and get to the foul line. But you got to get inside because they'll fast break you. When you take a lot of 20-foot jump shots, the transition from offense to defense is not that good. And so you have to shoot an extremely high percentage to stay in the game. Now he's hit, Campy Russell hit 3 in a row. They've got a 3-point lead.
Cartwright picking up that foul. A moment ago, the discussion was all about the shot clock. They gave him a fresh 24 seconds after the ball was knocked out of bounds. Cartwright committed the foul, and the doctor hit nothing but the bottom of the basket, and the Sixers are within 1. Julius Erving, who had to fight through kind of a mental slump himself about a week ago. Ray Williams this year playing more under control. They feel that his shot selection has been much more judicious this year as opposed to years past. End result, he's been averaging 20 points a game. Beautiful pass by Cheeks. That's the reason they're leading the NBA in field goal percentage and those kind of shots. Michael Ray, 6'5". Sly Williams doing yeoman work on the boards, and Dawkins has picked up his second foul. Darrell, who last year led the NBA in personal fouls, has picked up 2 in a hurry.
Now these are the kind of shots the Knicks wanted goaltending on that. But he blocked the ball before it hit the rim. And you can't knock it into the backboard, but you can't hit it after it hits the backboard.
At halftime, we'll take an interesting look at NBA official Darrell Gerritsen at work.
You make the pass that scores the hoop. How can I not call it? You dummy.
Has Darrell ever called you a dummy during the course of a game, Bill Russell?
No. I've called him some things, but I won't go into that because my daddy always says that if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything.
Well, we put that microphone on Darrell 2 weeks ago in that Los Angeles-Phoenix game, and I think they're really going to enjoy it. We had a chance to preview it, and it really gives you a different look at an NBA official. And he has a few things to say to the players and vice versa, so that'll be coming up at halftime.
Yeah, he's had a lot of things said to himself. You know, referees do talk to themselves, you know, because sometimes that's the only one that'll listen.
Sly Williams at the line. Sly Williams out of Rhode Island, second-year man, one of 3 first-round draft picks for the New York Knicks a year ago. If you look at this Knicks team, they have 6 players who are either first- or second-year players. So they are a young ball club that's going to make it into the playoffs for the first time, and that'll be a vital experience for them.
Well, you know, experience in ball play is like beauty. Some people, they get better looking as they get older, and some people don't. And so the question you have to, the thing you have to ask yourself is, will they get better as they get older? And it's hard to tell.
It's not an automatic.
No, it's not an automatic. Experience doesn't mean a lot in a lot of situations.
You saw that break by the Knicks. They're getting into that transition game very quickly. Let's go back and pick it up again.
So they. Now here they.
See the good ball movement, almost overpassed the ball though, Bill, that time, didn't he? Michael Ray able to get it off anyway. But
Well, you know, a team like the Philadelphia team will make you overpass because they have 2 or 3 guys that can
Caldwell Jones
block shots pretty well.
Next lead, 16-14.
look at it from a different angle. I think this will give us a better look at that break a while ago.
Right, so they're in the middle right there, and then go in. See, now he had to change the shot, and that's that was a good pass because if you don't change the shot there, it goes the other way.
Sly Williams playing with a lot of confidence. Ray Williams who hit one earlier. You see Cartwright up waiting, beautifully timing that follow shot. Hits 18-14 New York. Cartwright thus far with 4 points of the game. Cheeks with Williams pressuring him outside.
The guy's over 7 feet defensively. You should try to avoid letting him get that close to the basket.
He was staring down the hole. He was way up above it. Here's Ray Williams driving on Cheeks. Williams hits it. The basket will count and a chance for a three-point play. Williams really a good one-on-one move. Let's go back to Bill Cartwright's follow shot.
Now he was not screened out at all, and that's one of the tough things about playing these floating man-to-man. Some people call it a zone defense, you see, but since zones are illegal, when you play this floating man-to-man, a lot of guys will get in there with no one to screen them out because they're not playing man, they're playing areas.
Boy, I tell you, the Knicks got help last night. Detroit defeating Indiana, and that puts the Knicks up 4 games in the loss column right now over the Pacers. Daryl Dawkins, followed by the doctor, and Julius has done in the first 5 minutes about everything you can do in this game. Just showing the complete player that he is.
In fact, every basket he scored has been a different type of shot.
The move by Campy changes the shot, but Julius was there to block it anyway. And we continue to watch quite a show. They call him a work of art, and that is exactly what the doctor is right now. Lionel Hollins will be called for charging into Bill Cartwright.
Gonna make some house calls today, huh?
He is ready. But it was an interesting thing about the doctor. About a week or two ago, Billy Cunningham said he had to fight through a mental slump. As we see Andrew Toney checking in, the young rookie. He just really is a little bit flat. It's a long season.
Well, you see what happens, what makes a guy like Julius Erving a superstar is the number of games he's able to come ready to play. And the more legitimate the star, the more games he's able to play. And you're always fighting that getting bored, in a sense. It's not really getting bored, but it's reaching a point where everything is the same as gets to you. And so that's when either the coach or the self-motivated players come to the fore. They get that extra 4 or 5 or maybe 6 games out of a guy that a real superstar will get out of the 80-game schedule, 82-game schedule, will get 70 games where he'll be effective. And maybe 10 or more where it's just too tough.
Well, this is one of those, Bill, where I think the doctor will label as an effective game. He has an edge today. That's off Philadelphia. That foul a while ago was on Sly Williams. That's 5 turnovers now against Philadelphia.
See, that's one of the tough things is being able to play every game. And so if the coach can coach it out, or the self-motivating player can get that extra 5 or 6 games out, that puts his team over.
Ray Williams sitting. Prior to Friday night, Ray Williams was really struggling. He was shooting under 40%, but it looks like today he has it back on track. 23-16, the lead enjoyed by the Knicks. Lionel Hollins. Erving hit the rim that time with his hand on the follow as Campy Russell brings it down. Here's Michael Ray Richardson, picked up by Hollins. Andrew Toney checking in. He's the man who they removed out of the starting lineup a week ago, and there's a foul by Dawkins. We stand corrected on Daryl. A while ago, we had indicated he picked up his second foul then, but now it's his second foul. As the big guy with 2, he got into foul trouble a week ago, and is he going to come out of there now? Right now, a timeout is called by Philadelphia's Bobby Jones. Apparently will come in to replace Daryl Dawkins. It's a continuing thing with Daryl Dawkins, as Billy Cunningham a lot of times has some maneuvering back and forth to get him mentally ready for a basketball game. And Bill and I will talk about that after we come back. Well, Bill, I treat you with a lot more respect since you've been on the White Shadow. I mean, movie star? I mean, sports commentator's one thing, but a movie star?
Hey, listen, I want to tell you something. That was the biggest mistake I ever made. I did that show. Now everybody thinks I still play basketball. And so I keep getting these invitations. Hey, you want to come out and play? And every guy wants me to say, hey, I got this great deal for you. You come out and we'll surprise the other team. We'll have you on our team.
Hey, look at this. Boston, of course, a game back in the loss column to these Philadelphia 76ers, playing host to the New Jersey Nets. Sly Williams picked up by Bobby Jones. Dawkins did stay in the game with those 2 fouls. And the shot outside, Michael Ray Richardson. Richardson makes it 25-16. The Knicks off the mark very effectively. This is the 6th meeting of the year between these two. The Sixers have won the last 3 in a row, and we have a foul on Cartwright. Washington still battling for that playoff, along with the Chicago Bulls with the lead, as Daryl Dawkins will be going to the line. Started to talk about Daryl a while ago before that last break. It's kind of a cat and mouse game between Billy Cunningham and Daryl. Sometimes he has to get him out of there, bring him back in, try to get his game with a certain edge on it.
Well, what he has to do, he has to coax the game out of him. He's still a very young man, and like you said, he didn't play college ball, so he's still a very young man. And what Billy has to do is to try to get him out there, in and out, or whatever he does, so that he's playing and he's part of the flow of the game. Sometimes what you might say is that getting started is the toughest part for Daryl Dawkins.
Campy Russell has really started well as he continues to hit. It's a 10-point lead now for the Knicks, and Campy has 8 points, all of them on jumpers from outside. And Campy Russell's that type of guy. If he starts shooting well, the steal by Williams, who's second in the NBA. The basket will count, and he's fouled by Toney. The Knicks with the numbers 1 and 2 men in the department of steals, and there was one of them by Ray Williams for now a possibility of a three-point play. Marvin Webster, number 40, coming in. We expect to see Webster and Cartwright in the game quite a bit, even though he comes in now replacing Bill Cartwright. 6 turnovers against Philadelphia, and Milwaukee, who beat the Sixers Friday night in more than one way, physically as well as on the scoreboard. Let's look at this again, the steal by Williams.
Yeah, he caught him looking up and foot race. Now, Toney is very fast, but Ray Williams is an exceptionally fast player. And so when you're guarding a guy like that, he's just trying to keep up. And there's no way you're going to play good defense.
All of a sudden, it's 30-17. Bobby Jones, his first 2 points. And he comes in very quickly off the bench to contribute.
In fact, in a play like that, you should stay with the guy and you shouldn't foul him. In other words, you shouldn't go for the shot. Sometimes that you have to know when to leave a guy alone.
Michael Ray Richardson. Bill, they're penetrating pretty well. Those guards are ducking in there effectively right now for New York. The doctor off to Andrew Toney. Toney had 28 points a week ago and is our MVP. Hits one after missing his first. And Toney's that kind of guy who is a pure shooter. 32-21, a minute 46 to go in this first quarter. A very, very important game for both of these. Clint Richardson going for the steal on Richardson. Sly Williams wide open. The doctor intercepted. Here's Richardson, and he's leading the NBA in steals, and you can see why. Campy Russell, and Russell has 10 points now. 10 of the Knicks, 34 in the crowd here. Very appreciative of his ability.
What the Knicks have done, they've shut off the 76ers running game at this point of the game, and they're not running, and they're not as effective. They don't get the amount of points that they get. See, they get a lot of points in a row because they play good defense. Now, what they're going to have to do is adjust their personnel, which they are capable of doing, to this type of game until they can get control again. And so a guy like Steve Mix enables him to play that slow-paced game because he goes inside and he's very effective.
Well, Mix is in there, as you mentioned. Also, Caldwell Jones has checked back in. 2 changes for Billy Cunningham. His team off very slowly, but give credit to the Knicks. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Out it comes to Richards. That's a three-pointer. Rebound. Sly Williams. They have a fresh 24 seconds, and the Knicks, who are the second worst rebounding team in the NBA, are hanging in there. Marvin Webster against Caldwell Jones, who blocked it. Rebound by Bobby Jones. Caldwell Jones with a good defensive play. Toney. Richardson on him. Richardson, those long arms. You got to protect the basketball. He's averaging over 3 steals a game. Jones. Clint Richardson, who's been playing a lot of meaningful minutes lately. Rebound, Ray Williams. Williams really playing with enthusiasm and confidence, as is this entire team. You see a certain flair right now, Bill.
Yeah, the Knicks are playing under control better than they usually play. Maybe that win the other night snapped them out of it.
Marvin Webster tries to hit the boards, and that's going to be off to Philadelphia, as that will end our first quarter, and we have a man shaken up, Ray Williams. Williams, we did not see where he landed. He's out of our vantage point. Let's look at it on replay, see what happened on this play.
A little collision there.
He just ran into it.
And he goes right into the right there.
Go on sale on Monday morning. That's this coming Monday.
But I think he's as much tired as it is anything.
At Ticketron outlets and by calling Charger.
We're back to the action. Ray Williams has headed to the dressing room with that collar on his neck. We'll get an update on his injury report as we have a 34-21 game in favor of the Knicks. Larry Dimmick, 42, is checked into Michael Ray. The transition game to Glenn. The Glenn comes in and scores instantly after replacing Williams.
Now the Knicks are playing the way the 76ers usually play. And they have really commanded this game right now. And the 76ers are going to have to do something to change it.
And that's one way of doing it, is staying on the boards, but Caldwell Jones just can't get it to go for him. Good tenacity by number 11. Rebound now by Demick, and the Sixers are struggling at this particular juncture of the game as we start the second quarter of play. Michael Ray will reset it.
Those are the kind of shots you dunk it and get it over with.
Put it away.
The first shot that Caldwell Jones had, you just dunk those and you don't worry about it anymore.
Tough shot by Campy. Russell, Toney the rebound, and we have a backcourt foul now on Mike Glenn.
Fouled by Mike Glenn, a backcourt foul. That's Glenn's first personal foul.
That is not tired. That's injured. Yes. Looks like he snapped his head when he bumped into Toney.
You know, this is a tough game to play, and when you start having trouble with your neck and back, it's even tougher. Boston is pretty well running away right now from New Jersey. So Williams, they'll hope that he can come back very quickly. Boy, you can't shoot the ball very well when you got a stiff neck. And well, so he'll go in.
Yeah, then you can't take a chance on anything down the middle. Like I said, the neck or the back, you can't take any chances with that.
Sly Williams holding the towel to his head. It was the Sixers that were all beat up Friday, and here today now the Knicks are getting physically beat up, even though they have a 36-21 lead. Campy Russell. Richardson, who has come on strong the last 2 weeks. Steve Mix, and the Sixers are just not shooting the ball very well.
They've got to go inside now. They have got to go in and get a free throw or something like that. They can't just keep taking the 20-foot jumpers, because when you're playing at the other team's pace and you're out of rhythm, the 15, 20-foot shot is not a good shot. You have a poor chance of making it. The percentages are not with you, although you may be wide open, because you're not on your rhythm. And you have to have that, the timing and the confidence to make it. And if you're playing the other team's speed, it's never there.
Maurice Cheeks now checking into the Philadelphia lineup. At the line is Richardson. You know, a thought occurs to me. Here is this Philadelphia team coming off of another Milwaukee game. And Milwaukee does things to people, don't they? Remember Seattle last year in the playoffs?
Yeah, when you come, you know you've been in a game. You say, I feel all right, I think. And then you got to check to make sure everything's in the right place.
Boy, did you see Washington's trailing that big game for them? They cannot afford to lose that one. Steve Mix, who this year has been slowed by the flu and a foot injury. Toney, beautiful pass to Caldwell Jones, a foul on Larry Demick.
And that's what he's got to do, go for the dunk shots. If he tried to shoot that one, he would have probably had it blocked. As it is, he'd get 2 free throws.
His first personal foul, New York's second team
and so
foul.
Toney makes the penetration, and Caldwell Jones is what he's supposed to do, roll to the hoop whenever they make penetration. And there are usually 2 spots that are wide open when a guy penetrates, usually to the strong side or right where he left. In other words, when he goes in there, the defense reacts, and if the guys, instead of going to the hoop sometimes, go right behind him, that lane is usually wide open right in there. And if he wants to, a lot of times a guy with good eyes can drop the ball right behind him, and the guy following him can use the same lane and shoot a layup.
Talking about a lot of court awareness in that situation.
You should know where you are. You should not have to look down or look around, because you should play the game with your head up.
Look at this, a trapping defense in the backcourt, and that is off of New York. Philadelphia gets it. Good heads-up defense that time by the Sixers.
Well, that's one of the things that a team like Philadelphia so good can do, is they can change the game defensively. Now they put in a full-court press, and what you do, you double-team the ball. You have one guy as a floater to try to pick the ball in the backcourt, and the other 2 guys have to zone.
Here's Mike Glenn, an excellent shooter. He'll set it up for the Knicks, who lead at 37-23. Webster drawing a crowd. You know, the shot clock just now started. Here is Larry Demick, who had 13 points in the 4th quarter Friday night. 39-23. Cheeks off to Bobby Jones. That's one after missing a couple. Sixers now starting to move the ball a little bit better.
That's not the kind of shots you're going to use to get back in the game.
Reggie Carter, the rookie out of St. John's, is checked in at one of the guard spots along with Glenn. Here's Marvin Webster. They'll let him shoot out there. Here's Glenn against Cheeks. Yelling for the foul was Glenn, but he's not going to get it.
Too late now.
Cheeks just took it all away, and now the Sixers starting to get into their game a little bit.
That's the kind of shot you get, just going to the basket, because you're either going to get a layup or free throws.
Red Holzman is concerned. He asked for a timeout as his young Knicks team now with a 39-27 lead. But there's the earmarks of a comeback by this Philadelphia team who's slow starting today. With Bill Russell, I'm Gary Bender, and this enthusiastic crowd here at Madison Square Garden. Talk about a tough road to hoe. These Philadelphia 76ers next Sunday will be on CBS. We'll be bringing you the game from the Spectrum against Boston, and then the following Sunday against Boston. And of course, they come into today with only a one-game lead in the loss column. But Billy Cunningham said before the game, he said, we really, and this is a cliche, he says, but we really got to play them one at a time.
The good teams, you have to play them one at a time because you look ahead, you'll have things that like happened to Indiana last night.
Against Detroit.
You against Detroit, the team's got this terrible record, and you might, the tendency, if you're not very careful, you look past a team like that, and when you look past them, that's the team that jumps up and put a big roadblock in your way.
We have an update on Ray Williams. He has a sprained cervical muscle in the neck. It's possible he could play in the second half. So they were very, very cautious with him, and rightfully so, and he's in the dressing room, so we'll check him and see if he comes in the second half. The Knicks with Sly Williams with the ball off to Reggie Carter, who played his high school basketball here in the playgrounds of the New York area. Marvin Webster, and Webster against Steve Mix. Marvin Webster said that he feels that he'll be more and more of a factor as they get into the playoffs because he had such a great playoff, everyone remembers, a couple of years ago in Seattle. And he's looking forward to the playoff. Let's go back to his basket.
Yes, what he did was the classic pick and roll. Set a pick, and then as soon as the defense reacts, go in. He shot it left-handed, which is a good move at that time. Because if he shot it right-handed, he might have got it blocked.
Reggie Carter picking up the foul for the Knicks. The doctor back in now for Philadelphia. Off to Mix, the 33-year-old from Toledo. Backing in on Demick. Somebody yelling 3 seconds. Rebound is cleared by the Knicks.
The Knicks are doing a good job on defensive boards, and they're getting the ball up pretty good.
Well, this guy loves to shoot from there. You give Glenn any operating room, and he will burn you. 43-37, New York. Again, remember, should Philadelphia lose here and Boston win, they would be all even in the loss column. Milwaukee, they had a tough time a week ago today, but they're still a factor. Here's Andrew Toney moving on Reggie Carter. Carter has committed his second personal foul.
You know, if Philadelphia and Boston finishes with the same record, Boston would get the advantage because of the games in the division, the scores, and all those factors.
All the tie-breaking factors.
Yes. And that would really put Philadelphia at a disadvantage. Like I said before, the team that finishes second will have to get past both Chicago and Milwaukee. And these teams are so physical. Chicago and Milwaukee, that you'd like to stay away from them as long as you can.
He might not have anything left by that time. Good movement by Sly Williams, and he's fouled. Sly Williams very active in this game, playing with that confidence that he did not have last year as a rookie. He will go to the line. There he is, 6'7".
And what the Knickerbockers are doing is very important psychologically. They are challenging the shot blockers of the 76ers. They're going inside to the 76ers' strength. Because the 76ers love to have guys come in there, they block the shot and take off. And then the Knicks are penetrating and going into the strength of the Philadelphia defense. And they're making it work.
Williams gets 1 of 2, 44-29. 7.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Cheeks with Glenn on him. Mike Glenn is the kind of guy that has really given Red Holzman a shot in the arm offensively. He can come in there and fill him up from outside. The doctor, they're going to let him shoot like that. He'll take advantage of it.
Oh, he may make him sorry.
He has 10 points. There's that feature we're certainly looking forward to showing you, Daryl Garrettson, as we mic'd him a couple of weeks ago in that Los Angeles-Phoenix game. Reggie Carter trying to use the screen, and he's in all kinds of difficulty in a foul. Double teamed by Erving along with Cheeks.
And what the 76ers do very well is they double team as well as any team in the league. They double team, and the other guys slide up and play a zone so that nobody's really left alone.
Well, this Philadelphia team is averaging 103, allowing teams to score. Look at Boston, 43-35, and I'm sure by now they might even know the score here, which affects him so directly. They could pull in even in that loss column if things continue the way they are right now. Reggie Carter at the line now for the New York Knicks, who lead it 44-31. Just inside 7 minutes left to go in this first half. Carter, the funny spin on the ball. There's his free throw percentage. You see his field goal percentage has not been all that good. He's an excellent defensive player. Now some pressure in the backcourt by the Knicks. Maurice Cheeks, who can handle pressure as well as anyone. The doctor and Julius Erving, who had hit 5 of his last 6 shots, couldn't get that one to go for him. Larry Dimmick, Marvin Webster, good ball movement of Webster. Makes it 47-31. And again, I can't get over how loose the Knicks are. They're just playing with abandon right now.
Well, they're cutting off the Philadelphia fast break 2 ways, by hitting the offensive board, and the other thing is challenging the pass there. Now they have what you might call here, you have to look out, they're almost playing a zone defense, the Knicks are. I say almost because referees haven't called it yet.
What did you call that, a floating man-to-man?
I think they don't call it, and when the referees call it now, they don't call it zone. They call it a illegal defense.
There it is again, Bill.
Yes, you see, now the Knicks have 2 guys in the lane, inside the lane, and sometimes the referees have been calling that illegal defense.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. It depends on how they feel that day and
Caldwell Jones.
How the wind's blowing.
Caldwell Jones has another free throw coming. He does not score all that much, but he's in there for his rebounding ability. He's 9th in the NBA, averaging over 10. He has a goal. He said about a week ago he wanted to, in every game, have double figures rebound-wise. That's one of his goals the remainder of the season. I think it's interesting that he set that when you're kind of tired. Maybe you need some incentive like that.
Especially this time of year.
47-33. Carter with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Out to Larry Dimmick. Sly Williams broken up nicely by Cheeks, but it's saved back outside. 4 seconds. Marvin Webster with 3, 2, and they come up with a steal. Cheeks, beautiful pass to the doctor. He was able to stop it despite Larry Dimmick. Dimmick actually had a hand on the ball. I got to see this one again.
This is something you don't see very often, guys. Now they're trying to block a dunk, especially from the doctor, but it's a good defensive play. He's right there with him, but that's the way it goes.
Oh, is that some play?
So here they come. Right there.
That's a heck of a thing. You get up above the rim and he just takes his arm off, puts it through anyway. Shows you how strong Julius is. The leverage that he had on that play. Look at this. Maurice Cheeks with 8 assists in a quarter. Most people don't get that in 2 games. 47-36. Russell's open. Uses the glass. He now has 12 points. He's the guy that really got him flying offensively with that outside shooting. And Billy Cunningham is a little concerned as he stands up on the far side. Caldwell Jones, nice lean-in hook.
You know, that play might have had some effect that Julius Erving just went down and dunked over Sly Williams. Those kind of plays sometimes is a cumulative effect. It doesn't seem like it's going to do anything right away. Well, we'll see if the 76ers will pick up the pace in it.
Richardson, despite Erving on top of him. Hey, Long Beach Grand Prix, you're a medal to the pedal guy. Ken Squire will be giving us a report at halftime on that. 200 miles an hour they get on the straightaway.
I don't think I'd like that 200 miles an hour thing.
I've heard stories about you.
That's when I was that was when gas was plentiful and I was very young.
Oh, okay, all right.
Not anymore.
11-point lead for the Knicks. That's part of our halftime, though, along with the Darrell Garrison piece, the feature on rebound, which has Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as our man to be featured. Here's Michael Ray Richardson. He is fouled by Cheeks. If that ball would have dropped, it would have counted. Cheeks committing the foul as the Knicks continue to impress.
Now, Cheeks was playing good fundamental defense. There wasn't very much he could do about that because no matter what he did, either he got a good shot off or he got the foul called on him because he was out of position to determine how the play went. That was all up to defensive man, whether he got a free throw or made the basket. And he kind of went into him a little bit, which he should do.
Webster, number 4.
Fourth team foul now on Philadelphia. Cheeks is going to come out. Cheeks, I wonder if he's not affected a little bit by that bruised jaw. They had to take x-rays of it to see, in fact, if it was broken, as Toney will come in to replace him. It's this time of year, it's all you need is bruised jaws and stitches over your eye and everything else.
Well, you know, talking is a very integral and important part of this game. And if your jaw's hurt, you might have a tendency not to say some of the things that you should say, because that's part of the game. These guys are not playing in silence out there. They're communicating in a lot of different ways, not only body language, but talking to each other. That's a heck of a shot about Erving. All he got was his fingers on it. That's all. Just the tip of his fingers at that.
He is really playing well. 52-42. The doctor with 15 points. That's an interesting point about talking. It's in every sport you need to communicate. Maybe that is affecting Cheeks. He's out of there now. Campy Russell. Oh, is that a tough shot? He made that look easy. Let's go back to that follow by the doctor.
Now he just gets his fingers, just a finger in there, because there's a good job done on the screen. Williams has done a good job on him. He just enough.
Personal foul. New York is over.
And the Knicks just made not
stupid.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but it wasn't a real rocket scientist type of move, you know.
Mike Glenn did it. That's the second time he's done it. The second foul, so 3 to make 2 for Andrew Toney. Toney started 57 straight games for the Sixers until a week ago last Friday. He's been replaced, and since coming in a reserve role, he scored 88 points. Hollins, on the other end, since becoming a starter, has helped this team go 4-1 record-wise. There's Darryl on the bench.
And Dale has not been affected in this game. But see, that's a good thing. Billy Cunningham is working in getting to know your team, who handles starting and not starting best. Some guys, it's not a matter of ego or anything. It's just some guys can play better cold than other guys. And so you got to keep trying things to find out which is your most effective way to use the guys that you have.
You know, some guys seem to hit the floor running. Here is Webster getting involved in the offense. Webster not known for his scoring. He's only averaging 5 points a game, and already in this game he has 6. 56-44. This is the best I've seen the Knicks look. We've been here a couple of times this year, and they're playing with much better cohesiveness. Here comes Michael Ray Richardson. Look at that move. Sly Williams. And the crowd, as you can see, appreciating that development. 58-44.
Every time the 76ers make a run, the Knicks respond. And they're responding very well today.
This is a big one. Chicago, Kansas City. Both those teams trying to get into the playoffs. Bobby Jones, a reach around foul. Sly Williams. Go back to the previous play.
Now there's the swarming defense, and they go down and Michael Ray, that's what you got to do. Penetrate right in that lane there. Good pass off.
Williams' second personal foul. The Knicks are over the limit.
He had a couple extra moves on that pass.
You have to, the 76ers make you do that, because you got to keep your head up, because they're skywalkers.
You got to put on a couple, and he did. They got 2. Our director, Sandy Grossman, picked up another angle on this move down the floor by Michael Ray Richardson.
Changing hands and direct. These guys this is at full speed. He's changing like this. Goes in there, takes a little bit of steps. Passes off. Now here's good defense by 76ers, but it's the last line of defense. You know, as I told you before, blocking shots is the last line. That's when everything else is broken down.
Bill, look how big this game's going to be next Sunday. Philadelphia's trailing here. Boston is winning. They could be all even in the loss column. Boy, it's really going to be pressure-packed basketball. That's next Sunday at 1 from the Spectrum in Philadelphia.
Because like I said a little earlier, if they end up with a tie, then Boston has the advantage.
And I'm sure neither one of those teams, Boston or Philadelphia, would like to have it come down to the 29th, the last Sunday of the regular season. The
team that finishes with the best record gets a bye. And that week off, or 5 days off, really can help.
Richardson, that's almost a replay of a while ago as he ducks inside. And Michael Ray has 12 points. Russell with 14 and Williams with 10. So those 3 men enters now for the Knicks. 60-45. The Sixers are having an uphill struggle here this afternoon. Doctor into Bobby Jones. Caldwell Jones tries to save it. It'll be the Knicks ball.
Earl Currington, number 25, is in the
here's
Sixers,
the
replacing Julius.
fast breaker. Michael Ray Richardson going right in there, and they're making tough shots because the 76ers not playing that bad defense. They got guys back trying to block the shots, but the Knicks are putting strong moves on them.
They're putting on the moves with such confidence. Marvin Webster. Webster with Caldwell Jones out to Sly Williams. 8 seconds now on the shot clock. Sly in there. Earl Currington trying to block the shot. Sly again hustling the boards, and he's fouled, and Sly Williams has really shown tremendous tenacity inside, and you can see he's happy about the development thus far.
And the Knicks are playing with such confidence. You can see. Here's the action there, getting the rebounds there. He only got hit a little bit. But the Knicks are playing with confidence that they weren't using a couple of weeks ago when Los Angeles came in. They weren't nearly as confident as they are today.
Isn't that the truth, though? The Doral Open will be immediately following the conclusion of this game, as we will have some outstanding golf coming your way. Ray Floyd, they had a little rain yesterday, but Ray Floyd continues to be up among the leaders each week, playing extremely well at the age of 50. Bobby Jones to the doctor, and there's the ball movement that Philadelphia is so well known for. 62-47. Sometimes, Bill, that can be a start on a comeback.
Right, and that's one of the dangers of the four-court zone press, is that if a team really attacks it, they usually end up with dunk shots or layups.
Sly Williams has 8 rebounds and 9 points in this game.
Super pass by Bobby Jones. It just got the ball in the air and just like a good rebound, all in one motion, just continue the motion of the ball rather than holding it up.
And here's Richardson with the steal. Broken up by the doctor. Campy, and that's blocked by Julius. And a steal by Williams, but he's out of bounds. But what action! Outstanding defensive play by the doctor.
By both teams. The Julius Erving reacted to the fact that he had made the pass that they had stolen. Great concentration because he stayed there with that ball because he had offensive man had held the ball long enough to get the shot off.
That's going to be discouraging if you're playing against this man. And now scores 2 points, and now it's 62-49. The Sixers asserting themselves now. And who leads it? You can guess. Number 6, Julius Erving, is bringing him back into this one. Earl Currington, who is in there, number 25, the rookie from Detroit, played a lot and started against the Knicks earlier, and they're going to see a lot of action with him today. Foul inside.
Toney.
Now here's that good defensive play by Julius Erving. As he comes back defensively, staying with it. That's what you got to do defense in order to block a shot sometimes, because the guys, you jump maybe a little too soon, and they're going to hold on to it to try to wait till you start down. But with Julius Erving, that could be a long wait.
Indefinitely. He just stays up there for a long, long time. Mike Glenn, who does not miss very often from the free throw line, not able to get that one to drop for him. Glenn is shooting 89% from the free throw line. There's your time left in the second quarter of play, 63-49. But again, you kind of get the feeling Philadelphia is climbing back into this one. Andrew Toney off to Bobby Jones. There's Currington. Outstanding jumper. Out to Toney. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Sly Williams reaching around. Toney to the doctor. What a try. He reversed it. Up to Campy Russell. And a foul. Tommy Nunez starting to foul. The doctor tried to pull an impossible shot off at the other end as Bobby Jones commits the foul at this end of the floor.
And the Knicks got it going. They've really reacted well to the situation today, in that they've been able to fast break off of their defense. And this is the game that Philadelphia usually plays. But this is the way the good teams usually play. They play a strong defense, and then they get their points. They're actually easy baskets in that they don't have to work so hard to get a good shot.
Let's go back to number 6. Watch this.
See, good defense by Marvin Webster there will make you try to do the impossible. But it takes creativity to even try a shot like that. You know, you're in the air, you got to get the ball by the defensive man, and then you got to put the right spin on that ball. And that's all that at one time.
The 2 free throws make it 65-49. 14, you see the time on the upper right-hand portion of your screen. Sixers going for the last shot of this first half. Julius with Campy on it. Rebound, Bobby Jones. By Curtis. frustration there in the final seconds of this first half as Philadelphia finds themselves trailing 65-49 at halftime. We have a feature on NBA official Daryl Garrettson, also a rebound element, which has Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as our guest. And we'll have a report from the Long Beach Grand Prix as Ken Squire will update what's going to happen out there later today. We'll be back, so stay with us.
The NBA on CBS is sponsored by Lowenbrau. When it's time for the taste of a truly great beer, let it be Lowenbrau. Firestone, makers of the 721 steel-belted radio. Over 24 million 721s are now on the road. And by the Bell System. The Bell credit card makes public telephones more convenient.
A 16-point lead at halftime for the New York Knicks. I want to remind everybody that at the conclusion of today's game and each of our NBA telecasts, we'll be selecting the Miller High Life Most Valuable Player of the Game. And with this award, Miller will present a check for $1,000 to the Special Olympics organization in the name of the player selected. Bill, we're going to vote. If we don't get along, Bob Stinner will then cast the deciding vote. And at the conclusion of the game, we'll announce our most valuable player. Bill, there's an Bob Stinner. You remember him,
yeah.
The guy that pesters you all the time? The guy that, well, we won't get into that. But one thing I think it's interesting, the Sixers in the first half are shooting about 47%. That's well below what is the best in the NBA this year, 51. But you brought up a point. It's kind of misleading.
Yes, because you have Julius Erving shooting 9 for 13, and you have Caldwell Jones 4 for 6. And no one else is shooting, you have 1 for 3, 1 for 4. The best shooting other than those two guys is 2 for 5 by Bobby Jones. So as a team, they are not shooting well. And that's an indication that they are not getting the kinds of shots that they normally get. They're taking shots out of their range, so to speak, or out of their rhythm, because the Knicks have control of the game.
Now this is Ray Williams. As we mentioned, he had a sprained cervical muscle in his neck. And let's look at it again. It's on replay.
Yeah, this is where he collided with Toney. Right there is where he did it. And I think they put that neck brace on to make sure that he didn't just go in the dressing room. He didn't really hurt something that was already hurt. So he seems to be all right because he came back out without the neck brace on.
We're not sure whether he will play, but you see he is on the Knicks bench as we start the second half of play. And we have some pushing and shoving. Caldwell Jones, as you look at the statistics in that first half, I think the turnovers, 13 by the Sixers. Boy, that's kind of surprising.
That's usually the other way around with them.
Yeah.
Because they create a lot of turnovers with their defense. And they just had another offensive foul call, and that's considered a turnover.
So the Sixers, who'd won 4 in a row before losing Friday night in Milwaukee, have some catching up to do as they trail by 16 at the halfway point. Cheeks, who had 3 fouls in that first half of play. Michael Ray Richardson's on him. The Sixers can ill afford to lose this one. Lionel Hollins changing the shot. Rebound cleared by Cartwright, and the Knicks continue to hammer the boards pretty well. Michael Ray at the other end. Richardson now has done that on 3 different occasions. He has 14 points this afternoon.
Well, he does something on a fast break. He goes down the middle. Most coaches would like for you to stop at the foul line, but he's penetrating all the way to the hoop, and he's passing off of that. And now that's not necessarily good or bad. If your team adjusts to it and know that's what you're going to do, then it's good if they know that what you're going to do. But most times the coach would like for the guy to stop on the fast break at the foul line. That way, if he doesn't have a shot, he's not in that 3-second zone.
Now here's the score. It's so important to Philadelphia. Boston leading. Should they win, the Sixers lose. They'll be even in the loss column. That was a 20-second timeout. Julius Erving is going to go into the dressing room. Looks like he may have caught something in the mouth. And so the doctor at 19. This non-contact sport is... I think that's a misnomer.
Well, this is contact. It's not a collision sport like football, but it is contact, definitely contact.
Well, ask the Sixers on Friday night, and the Knicks here today at Ollie Johnson. Now, here's a man who could bring it back. Can he shoot the ball?
Yes, and what they try to do is they run that play so he gets a lot of screens, so he shoots it on the baseline because he's an excellent shooter from the baseline. You know, a lot of these guys have spots on the floor where they're phenomenal from these spots. And so you have to be able to devise a play so they can get a shot from that spot if possible.
Sly Williams trying to make things happen, but this time it doesn't work. That will be off of Williams. It'll be the Sixers ball. Sly Williams is a different basketball player today. I've never seen him play with this kind of confidence.
And he's done a good job on the boards. He had 9 rebounds, led both teams in rebound in the first half.
The Sixers, on the other hand, had 5 rebounds in that first half by Caldwell Jones to lead them. Lionel Hollins, and you see now the Sixers shooting better.
And this is the most important part of the game right now. The Knicks have to play even, at least here, to put Philadelphia away. And Philadelphia has got to take control of the game now, because if you spend so much time trying to come back, that the longer you wait, the harder it is.
Mike Glenn, who's playing in place of the Ray Williams, is able to answer. 69-53. Look at this. Chicago leading Kansas City. That game being played in Kansas City. We do not have, by the way, Daryl Dawkins in the arena right now. As you know, he had that ankle he hurt Friday night. He did not return to the playing floor or the bench after the halftime intermission. Michael Ray Richardson, rebound Ollie Johnson. So both Julius and Daryl Dawkins are in the dressing room. Cheeks, and he's fouled.
Timeout.
And Sly Williams had to hurry that last shot.
That's Glenn's 3rd personal.
But the Knicks, the 76ers are trying to get back in this game by playing the strong defense, and they got Ollie Johnson shooting along the baseline, and that can bring them back.
You know, there are 2 Americans in the top 5 rows in that Long Beach Grand Prix, and there's 20 turns, 2 hairpins, kind of the obstacle course you have from home to the airport when you come on these weekends.
You know what you're going to do? You're going to have the Washington State Patrol looking out for me. We don't need that.
Oh, I'd never do that. Never.
Again.
By the way, the doctor has a cut lip. He's getting some stitches, as we understand, in the locker room, and we're still trying to get a report on Daryl Dawkins, who did not return after halftime. We have a blocking foul on Caldwell Jones.
He's a little upset, and he might have a good reason. It looks like he had a pretty good position. But I wonder about Doctor. You think that'll affect the commercial?
The one where you put something on your lips?
Yeah. I mean, and then his lip is...
Well, you'll need more of it now.
Oh, okay. We don't want to hurt his off-the-court activities.
You'll be even more creditable with all that. Bobby Jones is checked in. Here's Glenn with Cheeks on him. Look at the pushing inside. Curtin and Cartwright really going after each other. Sly Williams, and we have a foul. Lionel Hollins got the wrist of Williams as he was pushing the ball back outside. Now it looks like Curtin's hurt. Well, we have all kinds of injuries.
Now they're, this is what I can't understand. Now these 2 guys are sinners, and they can do everything but take a baseball bat to each other, and it's never a foul. And then you go down to the last minute, and a guy will bump the other guy, they'll call a foul. Now this game here, that's real contact. That looks like 2 linemen.
Well, Curtin came away the worse for wear. The 6'9" rookie has injured his hand. We have a timeout. Palmerstown, about the Depression years of the 1930s. Earl Curtin, the rookie from the University of Detroit. This is how he hurt it. He hit the rim.
Well, that's part of that court awareness. You got to know something about the court, too. You got to know that if you hit the rim, the glass backboard may break, but not the rim. And so if you run into that, you come away the loser.
Hey, New Jersey's hanging there pretty tough against the Celtics. We've been told that Daryl Dawkins is having trouble with that ankle that he hurt Friday night against Milwaukee. It's an inflamed right ankle. He will not return in the second half of play. And Julius, as we mentioned, is having that lip administered to. He will be back as soon as they're done with that. Michael Ray Richardson, Lionel Hollins on him. We're not going to have anybody left to play this game. 71-57. The foul difficulty. Caldwell with 4, and the biggest difficulty, Cheeks picking up all 3 of his in the first half.
And Caldwell's 4 is very important because he's their only big man that's left now with Dawkins out of there.
There's Ollie Johnson. They're looking for some offense from him. That'll be goaltending against Bill Cartwright.
Ollie Johnson.
Ollie Johnson.
Some of those, again, you have to know how to leave those alone because they might not have gone in. And so if you wait up there and you block it away, it might not have gone in. But then again, you got to think that it might make them think the next time they come in there.
Make you think about him the next time around. Richardson open. Michael Ray Richardson now has nailed 2 in a row, and Richardson for the afternoon with 18 points. He's high point man now for the Knicks. 73-59. Knicks battling to keep this lead. Looked like the Sixers are going to make a move, and all of a sudden, Knicks have fought him back. Lionel Hollins to Jones. Cheeks, he took Cartwright, he got away with it, and a foul on Cartwright.
They moved the ball around on the big fella. So here it is. No, it isn't.
Foul by Bill Cartwright. That's Cartwright's third.
There's a pass over there, that quick passing away, and so he gets the big guy up there.
Webster, number 40, replaces Bill Cartwright.
This guy there before he could get his hand up.
It's kind of an element of surprise, isn't it, Bill? I don't suppose Cartwright figured he'd do that.
Well, these little guys, they don't know any better. He probably didn't know that Cartwright would have blocked the shot.
Cheeks misses the chance for the three-point play. 73-61. Marvin, Webster to Richardson. Richardson along with Glenn in the backcourt. Ray Williams has been hurt for the Knicks. Dawkins has been hurt for the Sixers. Erving has been hurt. Here's Glenn, and Glenn, long ways out. Lionel Hollins with the rebound.
A little bit out of his range.
Ollie Johnson, check that. Earl Curtin, and Curtin is fouled. You see the tape on his right hand. He was looking at it that time after he tried to stuff it away.
Yes, he went to the hoop strong. What you got to do in a situation with the way these teams are playing defense, you've got to go strong. If you go up there with some weak stuff, just send it away.
Richardson committing his second foul. Earl Curtin. This is a man that they really like. As there is Julius. He's returned. Can't see the cut, can you?
It's on the inside.
Inside?
That's why you can't see it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. 73-61. 12-point difference. They were down by 16 at the halfway mark.
And if they made that free throw, they would have.
Ray Williams is in, and Williams, despite that injury in the first half to his neck and shoulder, gets his first shot since returning. 75-61. Well, I bet Red Holzman glad to see him back in here. Bobby Jones, a left-hander.
Your lead, 75-63.
Bobby Jones with 7 points, his first of the second half of play. Cheeks gives Williams a baseline, and he lost it.
Julius Erving, number 6, is back in.
And now coming back in, number 6, Julius Erving. Erving with 19 points. Right now, New York has 9 turnovers, but Philadelphia is still leading in that department with 15. Williams picking up Cheeks. Lionel Hollins, a little shoving inside again. That's off of New York. Philadelphia will reset it. Curtin's going to see a lot of playing time now with Dawkins out.
And the Knicks are playing pretty good defense, and they're not letting the Sixers get the shots they want to get. 7
seconds on the shot clock. There's Richardson with those patented steals. He was intimidated by Julius, but still had good touch on the ball. Bobby Jones looks like he had a collision. I can't believe this game. Everyone getting beaten up. Cheeks down the middle. No foul as both he and Richardson land on the deck.
No harm, no foul.
I don't know if there was no harm in that case, though.
Well, no blood, no foul.
Okay. Billy Cunningham is up pleading his case on the far side. Ray Williams. And Williams doesn't look like he's affected at all. There's Billy. He was really pleading with Tommy Nunez. He's getting ready to send Toney into the game. Williams with 14 points. Ollie Johnson looking for some help. You can see, as Bill mentioned, Knicks playing good defense, but Cheeks sneaks in there.
That's an excellent pass by Ollie Johnson. What the Knicks try to do is help out. When the guy cut through, they go with him initially, then they try to come back and help out. So they kind of left him by himself.
Sly Williams. Wide open shot for Sly, and Sly with 11 points to go with his 11 rebounds. What an afternoon he is having. Cheeks pushing inside. Sly Williams really battling for it. That'll be off of Philadelphia. No, wait a minute. It's off the Knicks.
Every time the 76ers make a run at him, the Knicks respond quite well. So they're staying right at, they're keeping this lead at 13 and 14 points.
And that's close enough to strike, isn't it? It's still 4:55.
The 76ers are not playing well. They're still in the game.
Out here not agreeing with that particular call. They thought it should have been the Knicks basketball. Julius backing in. Double team, and it doesn't affect him, and he has 21 points. 81-69. Julius is a treat in himself. Marvin Webster leaning in. Curtin hits the deck. Again, no harm, no foul.
Well, some of the guys do act a little.
Just a little. Pushing inside. Jake O'Donnell spotting that one.
Foul against Sly Williams. That's his
So here's
third
that
personal
play on
foul
Marvin
against
Webster.
Sly Williams.
Curtin steps
Bureau
over
has 14 fouls.
and does a little dying swan there.
Well, he's just a rookie. He hasn't gotten all that down yet.
That's right, and he's not. Rookies don't get Emmys for acting.
And they don't get calls either, right?
Same thing.
83-69. Last foul was on Sly Williams. Andrew Toney, and Toney that unusual shot. Richardson, an excellent rebounding guard. The break is on. Williams. Julius tried to go up and block it, but he couldn't do it, and now Williams has 16 points.
That was a 4-on-1, and it's hard to stop that.
Williams comes up with it again. The Campy Russell, blocked by Curtin. Richardson. Michael Ray Richardson's all over the place. Billy Cunningham asks for a timeout. Richardson with 22 points. As that was the key to the game, we said at the start, was a guard play, and they're really getting it now.
And that puts the Sixers in deep stuff because this is going to be hard to come by because these guys are young, and when they smell a game like this, they're putting it in there.
Let's go back on that last break down the floor.
Good defensive play here. Shots blocked. And just hustling. He says, well, look what I found. See, this is the guard play by the Knicks. They hit the boards pretty good. And this is what they have to do for them to be effective.
Now, immediately following basketball, the Doral Open, Raymond Floyd tied for first with David Graham. But look at Tom Kite now, 12 under. He could win 2 in a row, back-to-back, and get that extra bonus money. That immediately follows. You know, they have a par 4, 437-yard 18th hole. You and I talk a lot about golf. Was that tough enough for you?
That's tough enough.
One of the toughest finishing holes in golf.
And finishing is a tough hole right there, no matter what it is.
It is for me.
Well, you know, you got to try to not make any mistakes. Try to keep them losing it.
Julius Erving with 21, now 23 points. Boy,
He got 23 points and 3 stitches in his mouth.
And I tell you got the feeling that the Knicks might have beaten him back, but I don't know. After cutting it to 12, they bumped it up to 18, but the doctor comes back and gives them a little stability with that shot.
Well, I'll tell you something, Gary, on the good teams, when you get into a situation like that, there's no reason to panic. You got plenty of time.
Rebound by Clint Richardson.
You got plenty of time. You got 15 minutes. And so you got 14, and what you try to do now, you try to pick up 2 or 4 or 6 points on them the rest of this quarter, and you're in the ball game. Because the Knicks have been playing very well so far. The 76ers have not got a combination that they like so far today, a full combination that's given them the kind of game they want. See, now, Billy Cunningham has got to keep trying combinations until he gets one that clicks, that works for this particular game, because sometimes the same combination just doesn't work because of a lot of factors. This time of year, especially, a lot of guys are tired. They got a lot of small injuries that throw the timing off. And so you got to keep working until you get a combination that works under these conditions today. And on a good team like this, you got enough guys to keep trying and enough time still to get back into the ball game.
You're looking at those scores throughout the NBA, how important they are as we're in the last 2 weeks of the regular season. That last foul on Bobby Jones is second, and Jones with another left-hander. And now it's 87-75, and you get the idea again that Philadelphia is mounting a move. Campy Russell against Curtin, and Curtin has committed the foul. No, it's going to be a lean-in foul on Campy Russell.
No, he had the, he was there. He saw Campy coming from way back. That's one of the times when it'd be better for the offensive man to pull up and take a jumper instead of trying to go for the foul. So he's trying to get a 3-point play. Gets a little greedy, you know how that is. Well, that's the way those shooters are.
Mike Woodson is checked in, replacing him. Look at Kansas City trailer. Earl Curtin rejected by Marvin Webster. Webster with a block. Ray Williams, after the doctor went for the steal, Ray Williams will back out and set it up. 2:05 to go in this third quarter. There's Woodson, the #1 draft pick from the University of Indiana. Williams off to Woodson. The doctor jumps out on him. 7 seconds on the shot clock. And he walked with the ball. Philadelphia will get it back.
Just little steps. Good defense will make you do that, especially if you just got in the ball game.
I tell you, Billy Cunningham is exerting a lot of energy on that sideline. This has been an uphill battle from the start of this game. Bobby Jones with a collision on Mike Woodson, and that's going to be a foul on Jones, his third. Ray Williams will inbounds it now for the Knicks at the 144 mark. There's a look at Earl Curtin. They call him Earl the Twirl. He can really jump. They tell me he gets up 8 feet and 9 inches on that backboard.
What's he do when he gets up there?
Well, I don't know. I've never been up there.
Ain't nothing happening up there.
Thin air up there, right? Mike Woodson. Woodson has had periods this year where he would just sizzle, and he is, I'm sure, what Red Holtzman hopes is in that period right now. 89-75. Woodson, man who came back from back surgery last year. The steal, Sly Williams, 3-on-2, and Williams thrown away. No, they saved it on the end line. Richardson out to Ray Williams. Rebound, Earl Curtin to the doctor. Foul by Ray Williams, and Julius almost got that shot to go for him.
And that's called concentration. Holding your concentration, knowing where you are. You know, if you don't know where you are, you think about the support or going out of bounds. Just kept the concentration. Lance Swan would have been proud of that catch, wouldn't he?
Wouldn't he, though? Oh, look at this. Your concentration. That's exactly right, Bill. He just doesn't know anybody's around him. He's playing with 4 stitches in his lip.
Just 3.
Oh, 3. I'm sorry.
Just still hurt. See, he's not so tough. He's not so tough.
Look at the steal a moment ago. Sly Williams always seems to be around the ball. Julius Erving. They are in the penalty. 5 team fouls on the Knicks. It's 89-76. On the other end, the Sixers only 2. There's Red Holtzman.
They got it back to 12. And they were down 18, so...
Boy, I tell you, I really enjoy gymnastics. That's one of the real big events of the year, the Women's National Gymnastics Championship. Tracy Talavera is going to be in that, and if you haven't seen her, Bill, a 15-year-old, you have really missed something. And so that'll be coming up on the CBS Sports Spectacular next Saturday. Right now, there's a timeout. 58 seconds to go in the third quarter. Cunningham talking to his troops says, again, the Sixers, a little spurt here. They trail by 16. They cut it to 12, had to bump back up to an 18-point lead, and now trail 89-77. A lot of time left as you look at Ray Williams. This game may be remembered as the game where they all had to go back and rest for 2 or 3 after all the bumps and bruises. This has really been physical. It hasn't been pretty, has it, Bill? But it's been effective.
And another thing, the Knicks have been playing pretty well, and they're not out of it yet. They're not out of the woods yet, I mean.
Michael Ray Richardson, rebound. Look at Curtin get up. That's what they talk about, is his rebounding ability. He stays after practice and works hard. He'll go one-on-one with Doctor for minute after minute, learning some moves. Steve Mix, a tough move. The Doctor with a finger roll. What ball action he got on that. What a spin to get it to go in. And Bill, it's a 10-point game right now. 89-79 now, 12.
I saw that coming. That's the danger of the press. If anybody breaks down on the press, then it's a layup, or in that case, a lay down.
Richardson, next walk to the ball, I believe. Couldn't quite handle the velocity of the pass, and New York will get it back. 20 turnovers now against the Sixers with 4 seconds left in this third quarter. Williams, Woodson's open again, but the Doctor rejected it, but it's going to be goaltending. Julius really got up on that play, but it'll be goaltending. You believe how high he was on that? And that will end our third quarter of play with the Knicks leading the Sixers 93-79.
I guess he got up a little bit. That was goaltending, though. It had started down. Not by much.
The NBA on CBS will continue after this word from your local station. The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Basketball Association. Let's go back on that goaltending on the doctor.
You know, that's a move. The reason I like to see that move. You think Rudolph New Year have been proud of that move? Catching the ballerina like that?
Poetry in motion that time. Caldwell Jones is checked back in for Philadelphia. We start the final 12 minutes of this game. 93-79, the Knicks on top. Ray Williams with cheeks on him. Williams with 16 points. Rebound, Bobby Jones. 38 points between Richardson and Williams thus far. That looked easy. There is the doctor with 27 points on the bench. Be sure now and stay tuned for the MVP at the conclusion of the game. And that Miller High Life MVP award, $1,000 to the Special Olympics. And I'll tell you, Bill, the doctor's got my vote right now for Philadelphia. I'm going to have to think about the Knicks. Maybe Richardson? Cheeks reaching in. Webster loses it. Caldwell Jones off to Clint Richardson. Steve Mix didn't get it to drop. But Mix tips it off to Clint Richardson. Richardson can't drop it. And Mix will reset it. Out it comes to Cheeks. Boy, they missed a golden opportunity there. Ray Williams. Richardson wasn't looking. That time Cheeks firing it inside. Boy, Billy Cunningham is storming on the far side. Really upset. That was two of them that got away from him.
You got to know where the ball is and where you are all times. That's what drives coaches to the early graves.
She got a couple of gray hairs. Is that from one of those type plays?
No, I just got these from hanging around all these years.
Ray Williams, cheeks on him. Off it comes now. The Campy Russell, who hasn't scored in this second half. He has now.
You were saying?
Campy Russell had 16 points in the first half. Now 18 for the game. 95-81. Steve Mix yelling something, trying to get things set up. They're a little confused right now. Mix missed another one. I think he thought he was pushed by Larry Dimmick. Mix,
they worked that play almost to perfection.
Dimmick scores the other end, and boy, they're going to look back on those two missed layups as being very, very big in this game. 97-81. Bobby Jones takes Russell up beautifully, using the glass. Michael Ray Richardson. We're going to have a foul. Jake O'Donnell spotting something.
I think on Caldwell Jones, I believe. That would be. Now here's the pass there for the dunk shot there. Oh, no, he just did a little layup there. They aren't missing the easy ones. And the 76ers are. They're not getting the shots that they should. They're getting the ball into position. They're not getting the shots off.
Well, Caldwell Jones has just committed his 5th personal. He'll come out. Julius will come back in at the 9:45 mark. Boy, it takes a lot of energy to play catch-up basketball, and Philadelphia's going to feel it after this one's all over. Russell with Bobby Jones on him. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Michael Ray off to Williams, getting Williams the open stop. Boy, those two really work well together. 99-81. They're roommates, Williams and Richardson. Doctor can't get the shot. Cheeks to Richardson. Jordan had a crack at it. Campy Russell with the rebound. Little frustration. Milwaukee leading Seattle. The Bucks have already won that Central Division, but they're still battling for the best record in the East. Michael Ray. Kurt with a rebound. Cheeks. And we're going to have a tripping foul on Ray Williams.
Billy Cunningham is going to call a timeout and regroup. Now they still have time, but not a lot. They don't have any to spare. Now what they've got to work for now, it's almost 9 minutes. But they're going to have to try to work for the 5 minutes left. They're going to have to try to get back in that game by 10 or less with 5 minutes to go. That's what they got to do.
8:49 as you take a look at the playing floor here at Madison Square Garden. And the NBA next week, I am really looking forward to this one. On Sunday from the Spectrum, the Celtics invade. And And Philadelphia, in that battle for the best record in the East, will take them on. 1 o'clock Eastern time. Julius Erving continues to just do a superb job. 29 points. Ray Williams at the other end. The basket will count and a foul on Earl Curtin. There's that transition problem that they've had on a couple of occasions.
That's right. This is what the Knicks like to do to him. They send a guy down just right away. Now, Julius tips it in, and the inbounds pass, a good pass, just lays it out there. Defense almost got back in time, just in time to pick up a foul.
At the line, Ray Williams. Williams with 20 points. Richardson with 22. 21 now for Williams. What backcourt scoring they have gotten from these two, and at the top of the show, that's what we pointed out to be the key to the game as far as the Knicks were concerned. Julius with 29, now almost with 31. Rebound by Webster. Webster very aggressive. To Richardson. Richardson has 11 assists in this game, believe it or not. Williams. Rebound, Lionel Hollins. Hollins off to Cheeks. Cheeks. Wasting no time. Rebound Webster. Batted away to Campy. Russell and Webster getting good position on the boards. As we mentioned earlier, the Knicks are not a good rebounding team, and they break the press again, and Williams scoring. Williams now the high point man for the Knicks with 23.
It may be redundant to say, but the 76ers are not getting back as a team defensively.
Here we go again. This time they're back, and Richardson tries an unbelievable shot. Hits hard on the floor. Lionel Hollins at the other end. Bobby Jones, Cheeks. There's a good fast break by Philadelphia. They haven't had very many of those.
Too little.
Too little, too late.
Well, it's getting close.
20-second timeout.
We have a 20-second timeout. Ray Williams is shaken up again. Earlier it was the neck and shoulder. Now as Red Holzman comes out there looking over this man from Minnesota.
If you had druthers, you'd rather have Red Holzman's problems than Billy Cunningham's problems today. You know, if you're going to try to figure out how you're going to finish the game.
Well, Bill, tonight on CBS will start with 60 Minutes. Then I have a question for you. Why would Mel hire a waitress who used to drive a truck and has as big a mouth as he has? You can find out tonight on Alice. You going to watch that? Mel hire a waitress who used to drive a truck and has a big as mouth as he has. I'm confused.
No, that's not confusing. If you ever watch the show, it makes a lot of sense.
We'll watch it tonight and find out. Here's Glenn with Toney on him. Webster again fighting for the boards, and what a job he's done. And the crowd appreciative, applauding this man. Webster has battled back from some knee problems. Fans expecting maybe too much. There's Billy, and it has not been a pleasant Sunday afternoon for Mr. Cunningham. He said at the top of the show, we've just got to play and get our game in shape. We can't worry about Boston, but he's got to be looking over his shoulder at him. Here's some games later today in your area. Houston, Denver, San Diego winning last night. San Antonio, Golden State, Dallas against Portland. Dallas has been playing better as of late. They upset Phoenix.
Well, they have to play a little better as of late.
Save into Erving. 6:58 left in this game. Lionel Hollins. 104, 85. Make it 87.
For Billy Cunningham so far, this is one of those 28-hour days.
And it's a long season on top of that, and this just makes it a little bit longer. Campy Russell, that was a shot he was hitting early. They're not taking a lot of time, are they, Bill? They're putting those shots up pretty quick for having the lead that they had. Bobby Jones, that will count.
And that's not that real good an idea to start taking those shots. That's how the other teams get back into a game. You got a good lead, and to hold it, what you do, you make them have to play defense. You make them take chances, pick up fouls, but don't let them in on bad shots that make it too quick.
Immediately following the game, the Doral Open, there's the leaderboard, and it's tight. You know, last year, Ray Floyd defeated Jack Nicklaus in sudden death, and he's up at the top right now, but boy, is it tight up there. Kite still 12 under. And then immediately following the Doral Open, live, the Long Beach Grand Prix. Right now, it's a 15-point lead for the Knicks. 6:18 to go. Russell, no foul. Billy Cunningham, look at him. Look at Billy Cunningham. He's on the edge of the floor. I don't know what he's upset about, but he's been upset. And a whistle stops the action.
Fouled by Lionel Hollins.
It's going to be Lionel Hollins with a foul. This isn't one of Billy's fonder games, I don't believe.
Well, he has to get up and jump around. You know, you get stiff sitting there, so you jump up and down a little bit, and you worry and you bite your nails. But other than that, it's just another Sunday afternoon.
I got to hand it to Philadelphia, though. They haven't quit. They've really had a struggle, and they've always seemingly felt they can do it. And they still have 5:55 with which to accomplish that feat. Andrew Toney, and he's fouled. Mike Glenn picking up the foul. Let's look at some other scores now. Boston, looks like they may put New Jersey away, and they'll await the outcome of this one. They may be tied in that loss column. Washington, they're now putting some distance between themselves and the Cavaliers. And Chicago leading Kansas City. That is in Kansas City, and neither one of those can afford to lose it. Toney out to Kurt. Rebound, number 6, and he leans in. And bringing it down is Richardson, and Richardson has played a complete game today. Glenn out to Campy Russell. That'll count. Chance for a three-point play.
And that's the shot that they're going to have to make. You know, a few minutes ago they were starting to take those jumpers. To hold on to the lead, you make the defense have to work to get it. Because you can take a little bit out of them offensively if you make them have to work so hard defensively.
Butch Beard, before the game, I was talking to him about this team. He, of course, the assistant coach of Red Holzman. He said this club he thinks will be a better club next year. They get some playoff experience. They're so young. We've seen them play tough in 2 games here. Actually, 3 games. They are the kind of club that can surprise you at times. Good second effort by Toney. 106-91. We have 19,591 on hand here at Madison Square Garden. And the Knicks trying to wrap up victory number 44 for the year. Cartwright. Well, already surpassed last year's victory output. They had 39 for the entire year. 6 points for Cartwright. He hasn't scored all that much, and you would think, Bill, he would have had to beat this Philadelphia team. The doctor.
Well, he didn't play that much today. Marvin Webster did a great job with that lineup they had with Marvin Webster in there. Without the 2 big guys, they did a better job. I think the reason they did it against the 76ers is to try to not use those 2 guys together because to match the 76ers speed.
The doctor now with 31 points. Cartwright followed beautifully by Campy Russell. 110-93. You mentioned Marvin Webster. Webster, as I said, thinks he'll be more of a factor in the playoffs. He feels in the playoffs, Bill, that they slow it down a little bit and go inside more. Is that true?
Well, the teams tend to play more conservative and they do the things they know best. But I don't think that the playoff teams, a team like Philadelphia or Milwaukee or Boston, is going to slow down for anybody or any circumstances. Now, what they will do is the teams will play more conservative. They don't want to. It's almost like you get this close, and I don't want to lose it. But the good teams like Philadelphia, Boston, Milwaukee, like I said, and L.A. and Phoenix, these teams are not going to go out saying, I'm not going to try to lose it. They're going to say, we're going to go out to win it.
The leaderboard, we want to check that for you on that Doral Open. Many of you tuning in right now expecting to see golf. We will be bringing that up immediately following this game. And it is very tight. Look at this now. Raymond Floyd has the lead, a 1-stroke lead over Graham. Boy, tight has already now picked up another stroke. 13 under as we bring you the final round.
And that makes that finishing hole even tougher.
Ooh, par 4, 437-yarder. Maybe the toughest finishing hole in golf at 18. Kirk. Young rookie keeps working at it, and he got one to go for him. He's had a couple of shots that rimmed out of there, 112-97.
Now, if they can get it down to under 10 with 2 minutes to go, then they might have something working.
Now, we'll watch that. 3.5. Here we go. Got to move now. They can crank it closer. Toney, Lionel Hollins, a lot of passing, and it works. Ollie Johnson scoring, 112-99. 13-point lead. Remember what Bill said, 10 points at what, the 2.5-minute mark?
Yes, if they can get it down that, then they got something to work with.
Sly Williams, and he had something in his face that time.
that's not the way to get it down to 10. Just give a guy the baseline like that, because see, if you let a guy go baseline, usually the help is too late. And this is when you get a lot of blocking calls trying to go for the offensive foul, but you usually get there too late. If you want to help, you got to make the guy go to the middle, because then you can get help from two directions. The guys at top can reach in and make him hesitate him a little bit, and that gives the defensive man coming the other side time to establish his position. But if he goes baseline, he's going full speed. There's no help.
You see the doctor on the bench. That foul was on Hollins, his fourth. 114 to 99. Inside 3 minutes. There's a foul on Ray Williams. No, pushing off.
Because he kind of hooked him a little bit. He says, let's go, Charlie.
So Toney committing the foul. Kansas City still trailing the Chicago Bulls in that fourth quarter. 2 minutes left in that game from Kemper Arena in Kansas City. 2 minutes and 43 seconds left in this one. The steal by Lionel Hollins. 114 to 101. Again, a 13-point lead, but they've now approached 2.5 minutes. That cutoff point that you were talking about, Bill Russell. They don't have it down to 10, but instead 13.
That's a big 3 points.
Campy Russell with Ollie Johnson on him. Campy was 16 points in the first half. He walked to the ball. Now a chance to cut it to 11. That is now...
Or 10 if they can get inside and get a three-pointer.
That is now 15 turnovers against the Knicks, 23 against Philadelphia.
Now they can use a three-point play here, but not the three-point shot. The three-point in the trying to get the guys...
That is a three-pointer.
Excuse me.
Well, they don't always listen to you.
Well, he got him, the three, but that's not the way I would have gotten him.
It's now a 10-point game and a foul on Toney, pressuring Williams in the backcourt. A minute 57. That three-pointer, boy, he didn't even ripple the net on that one. Toney can do that. He's an amazing shooter from out there.
You know, it's hard to breathe that far from the basket. They don't try to think about concentrating on making a shot.
It's a long ways out there. If you don't believe it, go out sometime that far on a basketball floor and see how far it is. It may not look that far on television or even in the stands. You need to go out on the floor sometime.
Well, on television, you need a big screen to understand. With a 19-inch screen, not big enough. You need a big screen to understand how big it is.
Inside, 2 minutes left. There's another three-pointer. I don't believe it. He's hit 2 in a row now. Toney, 116 to 107. That'll shake you up a little bit. This year, they're hitting only about 28% of three-pointers throughout the league. Toney's hit 2 in a row. Pressure in the backcourt, Hollins. But Demick, good move on his part. Demick has really given them some very stable play the last couple of weeks. He has 6 points. Toney started to shoot there, had it partially blocked. That was a 2-point shot. Cartwright with a rebound. Look at this hustle, though. The Sixers still haven't given up with a 1 minute 19. And Red Holzman knows it. Concern on his face. Campy Russell out to Richardson. Ray Williams. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Campy Russell. Knicks are not losing their poise, Bill.
No,
that's
they're
something
not.
they have done.
Real well. What they're doing is keeping their hands up on that full-court pressure. And what you do on a full-court pressure is when you beat it, you go to the hoop. You don't just stop because you got to pass the 10-second line.
That was a 3-point play. An opportunity. Ollie Johnson couldn't get it to go for him. And now with 43 seconds, the crowd on their feet now applauding the Knicks. The Knicks with a big win Friday and one here today.
This may be the best game they've had this year because they really look strong this year. But this game, but the important thing is their guards played so well, and that's what they have to do in order to win. Their guards have to really be playing well, and they played excellent today.
And the point is,
Ray Williams was out with the injury. Mike Glenn did a good job for him, and then when Ray Williams came back, he picked it up right where he left off.
And look at this, Boston will now pull into a tie with Philadelphia in the loss column, showing you how important that will be a week from today, Sunday, when we bring you Philadelphia and Boston from the Spectrum. And this win by the Knicks will give them a lead of 5 games in the loss column over the Indiana Pacers, who lost last night to the Detroit Pistons. So the Knicks with a big win, and Philadelphia realizing it's going to go right down to the very end before it's decided who has the best record in the Eastern Conference. With a 120 to 109 victory in Madison Square Garden as they've won their 25th game of the year at home. We want to thank our producer, Robert Stinner, our director, Sandy Grossman. Our associate producer is Mike Albanese. As these men worked long and hard today, our feature producer, Mike Burks, Rich Nelson, Hal Schutzman, people who have been very professional in their approach today, and we certainly do appreciate their support. So, Bill, I'm really looking forward to next Sunday, Boston and Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's got to be a real tight game because tight in the sense that it's going to be so important because, again, you can't emphasize too much how important it is to try to avoid Chicago and Milwaukee.
All right. Well, the final here. Now we're going to switch you to the game in Kansas City between Chicago and Kansas City. Let's join Dick Stockton along with Rick Barry.
For Philadelphia.
And right now we want to welcome the fans who have joined us, who are watching the Philadelphia-New York game here in Kansas City. The Kings in white, the Bulls in the dark uniforms, under a minute to play, and a 5-point Chicago lead. Theus gets the ball back and lays it in, and that might do it. 7-point lead for the Chicago Bulls, who trailed early and then had a 13-point lead. And finally, Kansas City came back. Birdsong misses a 3-point attempt, and Gilmore rebounds. This is Dick Stockton with Rick Barry at Kemper Arena in Kansas City, and the Bulls are playing solid ball on the road, Rick.
And the man with the ball, Ricky Sobers, has come up with the big plays. He had a superb first half, 16 points off the bench, perfect shooting, 7 for 7, a foul there by Reggie King. Ricky Sobers did it all. He just made a big defensive play down here before the people in New York joined us. Watching the New York game.
Reggie King, 27 points leading Kansas City, but the Miller High Life Most Valuable Player Award goes to Ricky Sobers for the obvious reasons. Once again, coming off the bench and doing everything the Bulls asked.
One shot.
The Miller $1,000 donation will be made to the Special Olympics on behalf of Ricky Sobers, who in 30 minutes scored 23 points coming off the bench against the Knicks. Another superb game for Sobers with 24 points. Chicago going to win this one.
Yes, they will, and the Kings had a chance. They hurt themselves with their poor free throw shooting here in the fourth quarter, and they made some mechanical errors. They turned the ball over in 3 critical situations by making bad passes, and it was those 3 plays and the ineffectiveness on the free throw line that have cost them this basketball game.
Scott Wedman, who normally is a sharpshooter outside, had his problems in this game. For those who have joined us, Otis Birdsong, playing despite a jammed wrist, has been hampered somewhat. And Phil Ford, of course, not playing. He has that eye injury, and he is not playing in the ball game, and so Kansas City is hampered because of that. But as Rick pointed out, Chicago with Sobers coming off the bench, so important.
They may have the sideline cover. You come to the ball right there. Okay? Go to Scotty, go into Joe if you can with it. Bernie's not wide open, go in there. Or come right back to Otis right here. Now, we'll take a quick 2. We'll take a quick 2, and if you're going to foul somebody, do our best to get the ball in Greenwood's hands or Artist's hands.
What do they want to do, a quick basket?
We said they'd take a quick 2 if they gave him an easy 2-pointer, but they're looking for a 3-point opportunity with either Wedman or Birdsong or Grunfeld. Those are the 3 best shooters they have on the team. And so they're looking to try and free one of those men. It's a very difficult situation. They have to try and score a 3-pointer. They're still going to be trailing by, 6 points? Almost impossible.
Yeah, no, wait, he used up a lot of chalk, I think, working this thing out to try to pull out the game. Fact is, though, Kansas City down by 13, came within 1 point and had a chance to take the lead and just lost it, and Chicago has controlled it after that, as you look at Jerry Stone.
Jerry has to be very happy with the way the Bulls were able to regroup themselves. It looked like everything was falling apart and the Kings were going to make a run and take over the lead and get in control, but that did not happen. Sobers came in, make a couple of good defensive plays, and they turned it back around in their favor.
Bulls will have won their 6 in their last 8 games, 5 of their last 7 on the road, which is important, as they call a foul on Sobers. The Birdsong with 25 seconds will go to the line. That's one thing Chicago didn't want to do. You don't want to stop the clock and give the losing team, the team trailing, a chance to get some points. Timeouts remaining. Kansas City has but 1. Keep in mind the Bulls trying to stay ahead of the Washington Bullets. They lead them by 2 games coming into this afternoon's play with 8 to play for the final playoff berth in the Eastern Conference. and 4 clubs fighting for 3 places in the Western Conference. Birdsong makes 1 of 2, full court pressure. 24 seconds to go. 95-87, and there's the foul they had to make. Backcourt foul, as Birdsong tells Greenwood it's all part of the game, David.
Well, again, you see the problems they have. Birdsong missed the free throw, so again, they missed another free throw here in the fourth quarter, and I really think that was the difference in the ball game, Dick, because they could have gotten control of the game, been up 3 or 4 points, and Chicago would have had all the heat on them, and they would have had to come through and try to get back into the game and take the lead, but they never lost it.
Well, they missed 9. Not that they would make them all, but it would be enough to keep them in the game.
Well, but right, and they 9, but they missed 7 of them, I think 6 or 7 right here in this fourth quarter, and that's what really hurt, right at the critical stage.
Got to give the Chicago Bulls team a lot of credit. They're going to make the playoffs, apparently, if they maintain their lead over Washington in the race for the first time in 4 years. And don't forget, if they end up in a tie, the Bullets and the Bulls, Chicago, by virtue of the season series triumph over Washington, would get the nod. That's got to be great for the basketball fans in Chicago. Timeout. 10-point lead for the Kansas City Kings. Unless someone invents a 5-point play, it's going to be very tough.
Well, that'd be almost impossible. And what's hurt the Kings even more so than what they've done there, defensively, they committed all kinds of fouls. Chicago has scored 13 of their last 15 points, take off the free throw line. So the Kansas City Kings, that is, have beaten themselves.
Leading rebounding team in the NBA, the biggest team, size-wise in the league, the Chicago Bulls. Reinforcing that this afternoon, Reggie King, all 6'6", has done a superb job of 27 points to lead all the scorers, but Sobers 24 coming off the bench. Birdsong looking for that 3-point territory so much he lost the ball out of bounds with 20 seconds to go.
Well, he was looking for the line and forgot that he didn't have the ball yet, and it doesn't work that way.
Pressure. Tough to win on the road consistently, and that's what the Bulls have been doing. And keep in mind now, Scott Wedman, who's had an off game, Kings came into this ball game having won 11 of their last 13 at home. Sobers, with 15 seconds to go, a 10-point lead.
That Western Division is really tightening up as to who's going to make the playoffs. It's liable to go down to the last game of the season.
Yeah, Houston very much in the fight, and they still play Kansas City twice. 4 seconds to go. Game is over. Chicago Bulls are now 17-0 in games that they have held their opponent to under 100 points. And they've done it again, 17-0. The Chicago Bulls defeat the Kansas City Kings 97-87 to reinforce their Eastern Conference playoff berth. And for Kansas City, some more questions. For Rick Barry, this is Dick Stockton saying so long from Kemper Arena in Kansas City. The final score again, Chicago Bulls 97, Kansas City Kings 87. So long, everyone.
This is CBS.